Welcome back, everyone, to episode 51. Boom. There's your banner.
Yeah. Nice banner.
And you have all gathered at the courthouse, the North Ward Courthouse, where Magister Hester Barch, you've been told, will be presiding. Hester Barch being, as Ocoria Stonemarrow prompted you about this Magister being a petite woman in her 70s. And Ocoria also mentioned that Magister Barch is slow to anger and fond of sharing lengthy educational anecdotes and parables. Note that she will be able to detect thoughts, and you won't be aware that she's casting it because she can do it without semantic or material components.
Well, that hardly seems fair.
Ocoria says to you.
So you're saying I shouldn't be picturing her naked to make myself more comfortable?
Picture whatever
Yeah,
you
probably
must,
not a good
Donovan,
idea.
to keep your composure.
Composure. So where did I know when we finished, the Black Viper had just entered the courtroom.
You see the Black Viper roaming around the back of the courtroom. And they have stopped letting people in. And some commoners attempted to get in through the door, and you saw a guard was escorting them out. It seems like the guards are questioning the people if they have pertinent business. And people that stammer or don't have a proper response are escorted out of this courtroom. But you see a lot of familiar faces in here, including Captain Staggett,
Yeah.
formerly Sergeant Staggett, recently been promoted to captain. And he does approach you, Donovan.
Oh man. Extend my
You've got
hand.
yourself in
immediately.
quite a pickle, haven't you, Donovan?
No. Yeah, it's nothing. We're innocent. We've got nothing to worry about. I'm just going to keep telling myself that. But thank you for coming.
Is there anything particular you'd like me to say on your behalf? I mean, I'm aware of your integrity.
Um, perhaps I want to see what they have to say first, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, I see. Well, I'll be right over here. And he points at the bench and takes his seat. And you see Ocoria steps away and starts chatting with Seth Cromley and Barnabas Blaswin. After advising you that she was successful on getting the Magister to allow you to argue second in answer to whatever allegations are brought, and was also successful in arguing for the group of you to speak together instead of individually, which she explains may seem like a mundane thing, but separating you could enter its own complications. I see your halfling friend has not shown up.
No, and that's something that I plan on bringing up. It's part of the reason why we were present in near Kolat Towers, where we were attacked. I'll motion it. There's still dried blood on my face and wounds.
She's actually missing.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying she's actually missing.
And remind me, who does have visible injuries from the combat that you guys were just involved in?
I definitely
I think
do.
probably all of us.
Yeah, I got pretty banged up.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm the only one who might be able to hide it, but I still have a little damage.
Everyone's a little banged up.
Yeah.
Bix, what's your hit points at? You only took a little. I remember looking at your character and I saw you only took a couple of hit points of damage. Is that true?
You know, I took a lot, but then I think I got healed a little bit.
Okay. Well, everyone just make sure your hit points are in order. Everyone gets their inspiration back for showing up like awesome players. And like I said, Oporia speaks to you and then moves over to Barnabas and Seth and leaves you to discuss whatever you will until this magister convenes the proceedings. And Mert, with a big belly laugh, oh, you're going to beat this case, guys. Are you feeling confident?
I have to feel confident, I think. Jail's the only other option. Or death. I don't know law very well.
Well, you're right, Aldous. The allegations would, if convicted of these allegations, would certainly bring death. But the fact that they have not found the body of Oren Grailhunt, I think it is likely that you will evade such a sentence.
Yeah, you definitely bring up a good point. That's something I'll nudge Donovan to be sure to bring up, that the body hasn't been located.
Right. And besides, we can count on you to break us out if something goes sideways, right?
Of jail?
Yeah. Right. Hey, is that the nimble right we've been looking for in the back row?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Pretty sure.
Wait a
You
minute.
see,
Pretty sure.
you see that construct sitting there, and Rhea, you notice with your superior perception that the construct is not operational. You notice that something is amiss in the center of its what would be its chest, as if something might have been removed from it, and it sits there limp, no semblance of life to this construct.
What the fuck? How did that thing end up in here?
Does anybody know what piece is missing from it? Or what powers it?
I'll look at Aldous.
God, I don't know. I think it would depend on what we learned from the Castellaners, because they have one, right? Where was it?
Yeah.
Somebody was showing us the.
I think they did.
I don't know
yeah.
if I would have Should I? I'll do a roll. What would that?
I'll tell you
What would that
you,
be?
You have what would it be? Arcana. You have Arcana, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I never specifically said that I read about the nimble rights, but
no, you learned. The group of you did learn that when they investigated that explosion, the city officials had gotten a hold of that Nimberite and disassembled it to some extent.
Oh, I thought we were still looking for it.
Well, you were until you were told it was actually located. And someone had told you that there was a crystal in the chest of this thing. And also told you that it was apparent that those nimble rights were being used to surveil upon their owners. Does anyone recall that?
Yeah. Zardo's sword's got some explaining to do. He's not in the courtroom, is he?
No, he's not.
Okay.
And Nep steps in, walks up to you, Donovan, and says, holding out his pen and paper, "Any words for the morning broadsheet, Donovan and Blackwell's Union? What could the headline show? What could the headline read?" As if, and holding his pen on the pad, ready to write down your exact words, quoting you.
Hopefully it reads something along the lines of Blackwell's Union triumphant, heroes cleared of all charge. How about that?
I mean, we all know that is what's gonna happen, so
He writes that.
we can tell him. Yeah, let him know.
Anything else? Anything else I should include in the article or headline? And he is full of enthusiasm and a sense of urgency.
When he says that, I'll perk up and say something like, "When describing me, make sure to say that Aldous Blackwell is a discerning, handsome, and capable young man of noble birth."
Discerning, handsome, capable, got it. Noble birth. All right, and a guard steps forward. Which guard? This guard steps forward. In front of the desk says, "Everybody take your positions and seats. Magister Hester Barsh will preside momentarily." And then he steps back into this corner.
Right. I want to sit with my mommy and daddy,
My
but I don't know if
baby.
there's room.
Yeah, you can make room. We'll make room.
I can move up to the front row.
Look, Lester made it.
Yeah,
Renera
move
did.
over, Rhea.
Yeah, I have nothing to hide.
Fala, beat it.
Where is mommy and daddy? Oh, there. Oh, and Fala is there. Mommy. All right, so you sit there, and Mert says, I think they intend for you to be in the front bench, Aldous."
Oh, I feel like I'm back in school. And I'll move back.
And as you move away from where your mother and father are sitting, your mother begins to wail, "Oh my birthday!"
I look back, like, and pout as a single tear runs down my face. just like leaving her when I was in kindergarten.
And Mr. Blackwell says, "Boy, I will be right here if you need me to say anything, or if you need me for anything."
I'll thank him, but like reassure him that it'll be okay. Like, that's what you think.
Yeah, everything's gonna be fine. Boy. So we got Crazy Claim, we got Vegetable Otto. What else is that in the back row? That Vincent Trench in the back. Black Viper, Gillester, Renera. Oh. Here she comes.
Magister Hester Barch, you see an old woman in a black cloak with a sash walk out of that office that you've seen Okoria visiting for the last hour or so. And that same guard announces, Magister Hester Barch. And everyone that hasn't taken their seat starts to take a seat. And you hear honk, 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 honk. Oh. Funny noises coming from the back of the room. And Hester Barch moves into the position behind the desk in front of a large book. And this character, who you know as Emic Froon, approaches the large desk and places an apple upon the desk. And like bows courteously and kind of backs away. And Hester Barch. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna roll a charisma check for Emic Froon.
Kiss ass.
Yeah, I'm like, he's the teacher's pet, giving the teacher an apple.
What a J-Ho.
I'm hoping there's like some poison or like a spell.
That's a good call. Should make a big scene. Stand up. He's trying to kill you, Your Honor.
You see the apple sitting there at the edge, and Hester Barch gives a grin and a nod, as if in appreciation. You're not sure. You can't really tell what that expression was. She's really old. Her face is really wrinkly. And she says, "We will now begin the case of the murder of Oran Grauhan by accused or Blackwell's Union, adventuring party from the North Ward of Waterdeep." And Emic Froon stands up and says, "Might I say today, Magister Barch, you look wonderful in your robes."
Wow.
Hester Barch says, "Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you." So, let's have it. Bring your case, Emic Froon. And everyone stops their murmuring. And as you look out the peripheral vision, everyone is looking towards, hanging on every word. And Emic Froon begins saying, "I will begin by illustrating the character of this adventuring party and how their interfering in the city has caused nothing but dismay, destruction, and unlawful order. Very well then, proceed, Emic Froon." First of all, the murder of Lord Oran Grauhan. Lady Grauhan, who is present here today, has brought these accusations. She hasn't seen her beloved husband in the better part of a 10 day because of this group, and he motions his hand towards you. And you see Hester Barch. But it doesn't begin there. Emic Froon continues. not but 10 days ago, the antics of the owner of Troll Skull Manor started to see the light of day. And these antics, like I said, have caused much disturbance in the city. First of all, I would like to call my witnesses. And he looks towards the back of the room. And these clowns move to the front. And as they move, you hear honk honk, wee! Bunch of weird noises. The one like grabs the other's butt, the other one honks the other's nose. And every time they grab and honk, you hear honking noises. And
Amazing.
Emmett Froon says, "Isn't it true that these adventurers, Blackwell's Union, were seen causing much disturbance during the Sea Maidens Fair?" And you hear honk honk, wee, honk honk, honk honk, honk honk. Yes, continue. And then you hear honk honk, here, honk honk, honk honk, here. Bunch of just noises that they're speaking clown, you assume.
Damn. Emic Froon is fluent in clown.
He says, and he puts his hand on his chin. Very interesting, very interesting. Well, there you have it. And if that isn't enough, you can have a seat, clowns. And the clowns like jump over one another to get to their seat, acting clowning around on their way back to the. I wonder how they will, how the group of Blackwell's Union will respond to such allegations.
That's a good
Hester
question.
Barsh says,
Translation,
"They don't
please.
have their chance to speak." Secondly, and sadly could not attend today, but there was the matter of Master Roderick, who lost his arm as a result of the actions of Blackwell's Union. I wonder how they will respond to those illustrations of their character. Last but not least, one of their very own, a friend of the one called Donovan from Blackwell's Union. Otto the dwarf is here today. And he motions to the back of the courtroom. And slowly this individual, with his jaw slack, drooling a bit down his lapel, he stumbles up to the front of the room. Yes, yes. Take your time, Otto. Take your time. And Emic says, "Isn't it true, Otto, that the actions of Blackwell's Union, particularly Donovan himself, have left you in this state? Previous to this, Hesterbach, Otto was a fully functioning dwarf, full of life. It was stripped away from him as a result of the actions of Blackwell's Union." And Otto just goes, So sorry. So sorry to tax you like this, Otto, but thank you for showing up. You can have your seat. You've bared enough. And Otto does stumble back to his seat in the back of the courtroom. Well, there you have it, Hester Barch. Accusations from Lady Growlhund herself, and he motions over to Lady Growlhund, who you see sitting in the front bench, with 2 children in tow. Along with their bodyguard. I can't imagine that Blackwell's Union will have sufficient enough response to counter these allegations. My presentation rests. And he moves himself from the bench and sits with the Growlhund family. And you see Captain Staggett look down next to him, towering over Emic Froon, and he gives a glare. Obviously, Captain Staggett is not pleased.
Hey, does anybody speak clown? What did they say? I'll lean into the group.
It
Mert
looks
leans
like they
into it.
agreed.
I have no idea what he said, Mert.
Do we, like, would there be, like, time to sort of, like, have a sidebar with each other before?
Yeah, right. We can ask.
Or just, like, quickly? Like, I sort of just want to, like, lean over to Donovan and be like... Because, like, Donovan, you're going to kind of, like, take the lead, right?
You guys are already sidebarring. And Ray, you notice Hester Barch reaches over, picks up the apple, scuffs it on her.
I can't see
Cloak.
Jim again or hear him.
Oh, DM, you gotta reconnect. Joanna can't see.
Yeah, try reconnecting.
After taking a bite of the apple, he poisoned her.
Good.
Okay, yeah. We're good.
Hester Barch chomps into the apple.
No.
Let her
Good.
die. Like,
Yeah, that's what. It
Yeah.
was.
looks like she was close to it anyway. No. Such an asshole.
While we're doing our sidebar, I'm gonna look over at Emic Froon and see if I can get his attention. Then I'm going to mouth, "Fuck you," with covering my face. Alright,
I'm like embarrassed. I just basically all I want to say is like we're here because of Lord Growlhund's disappearance, right? Like that's why we're here. Okay. Emic Froon is bringing up all of these things that have nothing to do with that. So I would say like just reiterate that. Be like, this is why we're here. And I would challenge anybody to be like, give me evidence that any one of us even touched Lord Growlhund. Because or evidence that he's in our possession or anything. There's no body. Reiterate that, you know.
Yep.
I mean, maybe that like seems obvious, but
is there anything else I should? I'll look at everybody. Feel like anybody else got anything they want to add?
I mean, I guess Bix, being the town guard person, I could vouch for you guys with the whole fair thing and how it's not our fault that dude lost his arm. And also, yeah. Because we didn't know the polar bear was going to get free and eat someone's arm. We had nothing to do with that.
He could have lost his life, you know.
True. Like we basically saved him, so
Yeah.
sucks to suck. And with the clown thing, if I had to guess, it could be the fact that we did rough up a dude for free tickets.
Ah, yes.
So he told his little clown friends, like,
Gotta go be
Snitches
over some
get
tickets.
stitches.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the clowns has a black eye from Joanna punching him in the face.
I feel like I've just kind of been scolding them this whole time, and they're kind of like, "Ooh."
Honk, honk.
Yeah.
Honk, honk.
Honk, honk.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. There's nothing to be nervous about. I'm not nervous. I'm not.
And like one last thing too, like about Otto, like he participated in the party like willingly, you know, so like he knew the risks that he could get hurt or harmed in some way. So like pinning that on us or even specifically you, Donovan, is like logical fallacy. So
Mm. And I guess with that being said, since Bix and Donovan know each other, like I could basically stick up for Donovan's like he wouldn't do that. He's a cool friend.
mhm.
Yeah, and you guys go way back, so it's actually credible.
Yeah, you're like a character witness, basically.
Yeah. Don't mention any of the other weird shit that happened when we were younger. Don't bring any of that up.
Everything.
All right.
I think Aldous, you brought up the best point about objecting to the evidence just because of its relevance, I guess, because we're here for this one thing, and you can't. I mean, you can't just bring up all this other stuff if it's not what we're here for in court today.
Right. Agreed.
All right. I'm not nervous. I can do this. I've spoken for myself in court so many times.
I'll
You
like
need
pat.
a few more minutes, Blackwell's opinion, before responding to the allegations.
Objection.
I'll turn around and say, no, we're all right, and I'll turn back to Donovan. I'll pat him on the shoulder and say, like, don't worry, Donovan, you got this. I've seen you charm many a lady.
Yeah, usually they're much younger.
I think you'll have no problem.
She kind of reminds me of the foster parent that ate the children back at.
Oh no!
Bix nods.
All right. May I? I'll stand up. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'll walk over to the table. Was he sitting when he was talking to the judge, or standing?
He was sitting and then standing to emphasize, and then sitting back down to read a couple of his notes, then standing again to emphasize. Every time he asked a witness to approach, he stood,
All right.
and then he kept taking his seat.
I'm just gonna stand. I'll walk over, sit, and then get right back up and stand. Your Honor, the first thing I'd like to ask is if you're planning on finishing that apple. Bit famished.
Brr. Excuse me.
Haven't had anything to eat this morning.
I've had quite enough, actually. And she slides it forward.
I'll walk over, pick up the apple, and then walk back with the apple to the table. I'm gonna take a bite of it.
Oh my god!
And then I gasp.
And I'm gonna,
Like, what is he doing?
I'm gonna look at Faroon when I do it.
As soon as you bite the apple, Donovan, you hear.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
And you see Hester Park lean to the side and say, "Oh my."
I'm gonna spit the apple out.
It was like laxatives.
Yeah.
Gee, all the old people candy.
Fuck.
And she does the
Oh my
waddle
God.
of shame. Excuse me. And leaves. Takes her leave.
Oh my God.
And the guard steps forward and says, Magister Hesterbarch has taken her leave. We will summon her second.
Oh my God.
Not even reschedule. You have someone else here.
The guard acknowledges what you said with a nod, but does not reply. And Okoria approaches the group of you from behind the bench you're sitting in and says, well, this is not a good turn of affairs. I was hoping very
Clearly
much-
not. She's about to blow up the loo.
Yes, very unfortunate. Hester has a soft spot in her heart for adventurers. Was really hoping she would be the one presiding.
I'm going to hand the apple
God.
over to... I'm going to bring it over. Is there a waste paper basket or something?
Yes, there is.
I'm going to puke into that first.
You're going to throw your fingers down your throat?
And then I'm going to look at him angrily and hand the apple to...
Roll a constitution check, Donovan.
No, that's not good. Save? Check. Oh, not too bad.
Despite you regurgitating the piece of apple that you ate, you don't feel anything awry.
Did he poison? I'm gonna hand it to the group. Like, did he poison her? Was this? Can anyone tell me if this is poison? I'm gonna sniff it, examine it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to tell. I mean, but I might just do an Arcana check to make sure it's not like magical.
I think the only one to detect poison was Harlow.
You examine the apple, Aldous. You don't find anything awry.
Okay.
Hang on to it. Don't eat it. Obviously.
Give it to Harlow.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the apple. I'll walk back. Actually, I'll sit down and wait until the other judge comes in.
And the guard steps forward again and says, Magister Umbera Zastro will preside.
Was he listening to the first part of this?
You're not sure. He came out of that office. Now you're not even sure if that door was closed, if he heard what was said. Umbera Zastro, a handsome, eloquent, and fair-minded half-elf in his 30s.
Okay.
And Umbora takes the seat where Hester Barch was just sitting and says, I have already heard the testimony of the arresting officers as well as that of the eyewitnesses. I will now give you time to plead your case, and if I see fit, I will ask you questions. I warn you not to try to deceive me. And I advise you I'm every bit as competent as Hester Barch in these matters. So, in the matter of the murder of Oren Growlhund, who will be speaking on behalf of Blackwell's Union?
I'll stand up. I will, Your Honor.
Roll a charisma check before you even start, Donovan.
Persuasion? or just charisma?
Charisma for now.
Okay.
Something more specific might call on your persuasion.
Ooh. I will. Your Honor, pulling at my shirt. Uncomfortably nervous by the change in judges.
Well, let's hear it, Blackwell's Union.
All right, I'll approach and stand. Your Honor, I'd like to address the testimony that was presented first.
Donovan, as you begin to speak, you feel gurgle, 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 and uncontrollably.
Yeah.
No.
I'd like to take a short recess. Aldous, Rhea, I'll walk away. I'll be back. I am gonna need a minute. Pardon me, Your Honor.
Oh my god.
Clutching my rectum with one hand, I'll waddle out towards the.
The Magister crosses his fingers and sits back in his chair.
Good luck, guys.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go look for a bathroom. Fucker poisoned.
A guard follows you, Donovan.
Right.
Oh my god. So I'll sort of like I'll say something like what Donovan said, like, can we not take a short recess?
Who are you? Are you addressing the Magister?
Yeah.
Now is your time to respond to the allegations, Blackwell's Union.
I
Damn.
guess I kind of just go up there and try to defend you guys.
Yeah. I think that, like, you seem to be like the most official representative, you know.
Yeah.
You'd be very
Yeah.
trustworthy.
And you've been accompanying us for quite a bit sometime, so.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I make a charisma roll, Dad.
Yes, make a charisma check. Bix. Hester Barch leans over to the guard, and the guard approaches, or not Hester, Umbaro, the Magister, addresses the guard, and they kind of lean into each other. And all you hear is the word, Ray, you hear, highly unusual. And the guard nods.
I don't know, does a 17 count?
17's great.
Which guard was it?
This guard's talking to Umbaro Zastro right now. And Umbaro, this young-looking half-elf, says, you are a member of the City Watch and speaking on behalf of this group?
Yes.
I would prefer to hear from the group themselves, but I'll hear what you have to say.
So I kind of start out with, like, how even though I'm not part of the group, I have been observing the group for however long I've been with them, and also how I've known Donovan for literally our whole lives. And first I mentioned the whole thing on how there isn't a body for the Growlhund, and how basically everything else that the other person brought up is irrelevant except for the reason why we're here, which is the Growlhunds, and how since there isn't a body, there technically shouldn't be a trial yet, especially pinning us on it. And then in response to the other random things, I mentioned how at the Maiden's Fair, if it wasn't for the Blackwell's Union, Master Roderick would actually be dead because of how I because of how if it wasn't for Aldous, and like I try to like talk Aldous up, make him super cool. And Harlow,
Emic Froon jumps from his seat and says, "Objection!"
okay,
And Umbara Zastra says, "Calm, calm. You had your time."
and how if it wasn't for Aldous and I feel like I would know Harlow's name, but I also don't know if I would know Harlow's name. So I'm just gonna say the wee halfling child. If it weren't for Aldous and the wee halfling child, Master Roderick would probably not be here with us today. And then I start to get all personal for a sec there on how Donovan is very protective of his friends. So therefore, due to the fact that Otto is the way he is now, Donovan probably did everything he could to protect him. And I guess if I had to guess, I'll probably know from Mert part of that situation and then mention how also the like also how they did everything they could. They rushed him to the mages and protectors place, I think. And also how the wee halfling child tried to give him a good berry, but that part didn't really work because he was unconscious. But that's a different story. And then I ask if we can get a translation for the clowns. And that's really it for now until we get a translation for the clowns.
Good job, Bix.
Cool.
And I would say at this point, you are a
Captain.
part of the party.
Yay.
Yeah, for sure.
Friendship.
Thank you. Your character witness pulls a lot of weight. Umbara Zastro comments.
I like
But I would like to hear from someone in the party.
I'd be willing to get up, so I'll sort of get up and I'll
Please.
pat Bix on the shoulder and tell him thank you for representing us. And I'll sit down. Oh God, I don't even know what I'm gonna say, to be honest.
You sit down, Aldous, and you see this apple sitting on the desk with 2 big bites taken out of it.
I'll just like very, very daintily just be like, push it over as far as I can away from me.
Right.
I basically like reiterate a lot of what Vic said, that the points that were brought up don't relate to this trial. And I'll ask Umbero, I'll ask, am I right in is my understanding correct in that we're here because we're accused of murdering Lord Growlhund? Is that the reason why we're here, Your Honor?
Yes, it is. Roll a charisma check, Aldous.
Okay. I'm going to use my inspiration just in case.
Good call.
Okay. 12.
You bring up good points, Aldous Blackwell.
So after bringing up, after asking, you know, is it the case that we're here to respond to the allegations of murdering Lord Growlhund? And Umbero says yes. I will say, then I urge you to throw out the majority of what has been said by the prosecutor. It has no bearing on this case. We should only be answering 2 questions related to Lord Growlhund. And as far as I can tell, there's no evidence that has been presented that places Lord Growlhun in our I don't know in our keeping.
Where were you the night that you're accused of murdering Oren Grauhan, Aldous Blackwell?
I will admit on behalf of the whole party that we were in the Growlhund estate, but we had reasoning to be there, and
What was
none
that
of them
reason?
were nefarious.
What was the reason, Aldous?
A question for you, DM. Was that morning, was that the explosion that happened? Was it the same day?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll essentially say that
You were
you know,
investigating the Nimblewright
yeah.
and the explosion, and you had
Yeah.
found that several wealthy entities and families had procured these things, and one of those, uh, you tracked it. You tracked this Nimblewright back to Oren Grauhan's estate.
Right. Yeah. So I'll basically reiterate that, and um say, like, you may have heard of this explosion that was happening in the North Ward. We set out to locate a Nimblewright that was seen um in the vicinity, and it took us to the Growlhund estate. Um and I'll sort of also move to, like, mention Lady Growlhund and her bodyguard, and I will say, like, we all saw them that night. We were trying to help them and actually implored Lady Growlhund, but she just assumed that we were, um, had, like, bad motives when we were not being aggressive towards them at all. And none of us so much as laid a hand on her, the bodyguard, or Lord Growlhund. We didn't even see Lord Growlhund that day.
So you committed no violence at the Grauhan Villa that night.
Oh God. We only defended ourselves.
As you should, I suppose.
I'm
And
glad you agree.
he looks over at the Grauhan family and Emmett. Curious, he says. And there's one of your party missing, is that correct?
Yes, you're correct in observing that.
The court would
Our
normally observe that as a guilty party, not showing up for their court date.
I could see how you would want to honor that and assume that Harlow is sort of guilty just by fact of not being here, but we have suspicions that she's actually been abducted, and she is a child. Um,
Okay,
we we
understood.
recently we recently sent out what are those things called? The cranes, the birds. We
Okay,
sent one of a paper bird. We sent one out, and it actually led us to Colette Towers. Um,
oh, Colat Towers.
so
Interesting.
that's why we assume that she had been abducted, because there's no reason that she would be there. In fact, nobody, as you know, can enter.
And Umbaro puts up a finger and leans into the guard standing next to him, and again has a back and forth quietly. So Aldous, and then he regains his position, looking forward, and addresses you again, Aldous, and says, "So, how do you directly respond to these character, these assaults on your character, such as the injuries that Meister Broderick sustained, losing his arm in front of his daughter, a young girl? How do you explain that?"
I would reiterate essentially what Bix said, and I will sort of say that the fact that we'd respond at all is frankly kind of ridiculous because it has nothing to do with what happened with the Growlhuns. But I will say and reiterate what Bix said that I personally, along with Harlow, did my best to protect Maester Roderick. The bear got loose, and that could not have been predicted. So we only did what we could have done in that circumstance. He could have lost his life. He could have died, but we prevented that from happening.
And he looks through the paperwork in front of him, the parchment. That all makes sense, Aldous Blackwell. Thank you for clearing that up for us.
Thank you.
Your Honor, can I approach the stand?
Certainly.
Yes!
I do want to hear from the party, yes.
I only
You
have
are
Joanna, Your Honor. Mercenary. Retired.
member of Blackwell's Union, I assume?
Correct.
Proceed.
I really only have one question, and I'm gonna go and pick up the apple and hold it up and be like, I think this is poisonous, and I wonder why it is that not only was one judge I find it curious that one judge was sick from this apple and one member of our party also, and I'm gonna kind of look back the person who brought it. Is that allowed?
Certainly remove the poisonous apple. I don't know what your point is, Joanna of Blackwell's Union.
I don't see how the same person who can poison a party member could bring all of these people. Wait, am I thinking of the right guy? Who brought this thing?
Emic Froome brought it.
I'm assuming Emic did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's just curious to me that you'd bring all these people to testify against us in this matter and also bring something that's harmful to us? I mean, is Donovan okay?
The scene switches to Donovan and
He's not okay.
he had one ready.
Oh no!
All right.
And to basically go off of what Aldous testified earlier, the best that we could say in our defense is that we tried our best with there's no ill intent behind any of the things that occurred and the actions and what these other people are testifying against us. Especially
roll a charisma check, Joanna.
Okay. I'm mostly just angry about the apple. That's why I came up. And I feel like that's obvious to everybody.
Umbura Zastro leans into the guard and then leans back towards you and says, "Are you accusing the prosecution of bringing that apple and poisoning Hester Barge and your party member?"
Oh my god, none of us are getting good charisma. Yeah. That is what I'm accusing. Or that's what yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so Umbara Zastro motions to the guard next to them, and the guard comes over, removes a pouch from his belt, and puts the apple in it, and goes to Hester Barch's chamber. We'll clear that matter up quickly. Now, as to the allegations, do you have anything to say in your defense, the defense of your party?
Whatever happened was all done with well intentions. And I spoke to oh my god, what's his name? The guy who lost his arm.
Master Roderick.
I spoke to his daughter briefly, and she was really worried for her father's life that day. And I think I remember her expressing sort of relief that her dad ended up being okay. She was very distraught when she approached us. We did our best to spare his life.
We did speak to Maester Roderick and his daughter previous to this court proceeding, and we agree with your assessment, and we think these character assaults on the group is an attempt to undermine the validity of the group of you, an attempt to get you convicted of these murder charges. And he turns to the Grauhund family and Emic Froon and says, "Is it true the body of our Oren Grauhund has not been recovered?" And Emic Froon lurches to his feet and says, "Your Honor, but the word of a noblewoman such as Yala Grauhund should hold so much more weight than the actual evidence of a body." And Umbara Zastra says, "That's ridiculous. You must have some evidence of the murder of Oren Grauhund for me to sentence this group of people to death."
I agree, Your Honor. I believe that what is being presented in front of you from him is vague, ambiguous. It calls for speculation, and
Yes, we will.
I object
I object.
to the form.
Excellent. All right, well, if you have no other words, I will prepare my verdict.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And he leans back in his chair and clasps his hands together. Anyone else want to speak, say anything on behalf of the party? And you
I
see
kind of murmur, I'm glad I wasn't summoned up.
I'm like, guessing you don't want to say anything, Royer? No.
She like has her head down.
I'll just say, I think we've said enough, Your Honor.
I'm just checking my... Umbara Zastra is checking their notes to make sure they haven't missed us. Oh, Joanna, Azarej is psychically communicating with you pretty much throughout this whole process, the whole time you're here, alerting you to the presence of certain individuals that are unlawful. But it's so much information, you can't even really discern it. But you can tell Azarej is in constant psychic contact with you. And you hear Donovan in the hallway.
All
Telepathically.
Azaret just like...
That's what Azred is telling me.
Yeah.
There's someone unlawful around the corner. I'm just kidding. But
So-
that is worrying to me because we're in a court setting, and you'd imagine that you wouldn't feel so much unlawful presence.
Yeah, you'd think. And Mert stands up and says, "Oh, Your Honor, Ambarazastro, Honorable Ambarazastro, might I have a few words on behalf of Blackwell's Union to make sure your decision is bolstered by nothing but the truth?" And Ambarazastro nods. And Mert walks up next to Bix and puts his arm around Bix, claps him on the back, and Mert towers over Bix, and Bix is a big guy.
I kind of just like
Yeah,
accept this is happening. Kind of a little scared, but it's okay.
Mert proceeds to say to Ambarazastra that there are several personalities in the courtroom today that will vouch for the integrity of this group that is only fighting on behalf of the city where they're able, and otherwise just conducting themselves as citizens, upstanding citizens. And one by one, he motions, and Fala walks up and says, Donovan and their group's efforts in the North Ward have elevated the atmosphere, and I have nothing but good interactions with the group of them. And Fala takes their seat, and he motions, and this person, Colleen, you know her as, she struts up in a long dress, glittering hair pulled back.
Come on, Colleen. Don't do us wrong. I helped you.
Blackwell's Union saved my life and my career as an artist.
Thank God we got her when she was sane.
And then she proceeds to plug an engagement where she's showing off some large format oil paintings at an illustrious museum in the the near future. Everyone should behold my grand new paintings. And she seems to, while just speaking on behalf and speaking about your integrity, also plugs this event where she's unveiling some paintings she's done. And then she, in a flourish, leaves her position at the table.
Does she have any like pamphlets or anything for the event?
She does not.
Any information?
If you engage her, she talks endlessly about it. Oh, you should see
Okay.
grand creatures and environments I've created.
I'll talk to her after, if I don't go to jail.
She does this. And then you also hear, "Oh, my baby, please, please." Mother.
Mom,
Master
it's okay.
Blackwell consoles her as Aldous leans over the back of his bench there to console her as well. Well, if there's nothing else, I suppose I will give my verdict in the case.
Okay.
And he looks at everyone, gives a long moment to make sure no one has anything else to add. It says, in the case of the murder of Oren Grauhan, I find Blackwell's Union not guilty. And
Yee.
you hear a gasp of relief from several people, and a light clapping, and oh, my baby! Calm,
Oh my
calm now,
god.
Mr. Blackwell consoles. And you hear Emmett Froon leap to his feet. This is preposterous, unbelievable, inconceivable.
Where's the verdict on the apple?
And then Bar's
Good point.
But given the extensive evidence of Blackwell's Union harassing a ticket taker at the Sea Maidens Fair, I will punish you to a 10 days labor at Ammon's farm to commence immediately. Be remanded to custody of the town guard, and you will spend your next 10 days in Ammon's farm.
There has to be some other way.
There is no other way.
Do you like apples?
Can
And
I
I'm like-
ask what happened? Can I ask, can we start our 10-day after we save the child?
And
Good point.
Umbara's Astro picks up a gavel on the desk and clunk.
I'm like, manual labor? I just can't even imagine.
I'm gonna like snarl at the clowns.
And you hear Mert, oh, what? And he asks for clarification. What is happening? Why is this happening? And he tries to, he's looking around for Okoria. He finds Okoria, and he starts talking to Okoria. You see Mert is very concerned. And Emmett Froon continues, this is not enough! Unbelievable! And he throws his papers on the floor. Yala Grailhunt faints. Oh!
Good.
And her bodyguard, helps her to her feet. And they slowly make their way out the door with their children.
Wow.
And-
Hope it was worth it for them.
Guards approach you. Ambar Zastro retires to those chambers. And the one guard turns to Bix and says, Bix, you're going to help us remand these Blackwell's Union into custody?
But sure, I'll keep an eye on them.
And Okora says, very unfortunate. The arrest is very unfortunate, but you're off the hook for murder.
As it should be.
And Mert leans into the group of you and says, I've got some interesting things for you to look into. I have a workaround plan for this eventuality, or this contingency, rather.
Do tell.
While these city watch are basically taking you into custody. Let's see, there's two here. A bunch of guards show up. One walks in with Donovan and brings Donovan with him. Donovan, I assume you go with this guard when he...
Hey, yeah, sure. Hey, as soon as we get in, I'll be like, hey, did we win?
More or less, but we've been sentenced to 10 days of manual labor on a farm.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Ammon's Farm. You've heard lots of stories about Ammon's Farm, Donovan. Outside the city to the north, where a lot of low-level sentencing happens.
Well, maybe we can somehow get out of it. We'll see what Mert has to say.
Yeah, wait, we can't buy our way out of this? First of all, I want to find out where that guy lives, because I'm going to shove the rest of that apple down his throat.
Bird? You hear the clowns honk, 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 clowning around as they leave the courtroom.
Yeah, we're going to go looking for them, too.
Then we'll be back in here for murder.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm like,
gonna
I don't
say
know. Maybe we should keep our hands off the clowns.
Those clowns are
They're
fucking
really,
dead.
This guy says, "Hey, tough break on that 10-day sentence." And he takes his leave with the rest of the clowns. And you see all these people start to leave while the guards basically take you into custody in the courtroom. And Mert leans in while they're doing that, and he says, "There's a family of doppelgangers. As long as you're willing to allow them to assume your form, we can have them spend your 10-day sentence."
Holy shit.
What's this?
Yeah.
What's it going to cost us?
Nothing. We would just like you to continue following up on these leads. We're very interested in the information you've obtained about the individual named Manchun. Also, I've got a hot tip again from the Harpers on yet another easier entranceway into the Xanathar lair. Either of these leads should be followed up on immediately. Hence the urgency and our willingness to arrange this for this family of doppelgangers to assume your forms and serve your sentence.
Pays to have friends.
So what do we need to do?
They will meet you here in the middle of the night. I just need to know that you are willing to allow them to assume your form.
Hey, I'm fine with that. I don't want to
Yeah.
do manual labor.
Yes, we have pressing matters. We seek to recover Harlow, find out more about Manchun. Time is of the essence.
So they lead you down to this other, ultimately down to where you've been before, in this holding cell. You can all move yourselves over to the other side of the map. I assume you're all just going to go along. If you don't, you got to let me know. But they lead you
Yeah,
down
I'll
there.
Hey, can we turn our belongings over to Mert?
The guard proceed to take all of your belongings.
Yeah, I mean the weapons that we checked at the door.
The guard has all of it.
Okay.
So, Rhea, you have a very important pouch on you. What do you do with the Stone of Galore when they take all of your belongings?
Prison wallet.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no real way for me to smuggle it, I'm gonna have to. I'm not letting go of that thing.
You're gonna be like, oh, before I go in, like, I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I had a bite of the apple too. I'll be right back.
Yeah, don't go.
I didn't know you were unmuted, Michael. Jesus Christ.
So how big is the stone? Do you have like a?
Wait, if you
I
want to do
like-
that, I have to hear the term prison wallet come out of your mouth.
Yeah. So I
No, I'm
asked you
kidding. You don't
about
have to
it.
stop kidding.
Okay.
No,
but I asked
Michael.
to use
But
the
I do
bathroom.
need to know what you do with it. That's all. They don't
I
leave you
mean-
alone in the
What do you
point,
do
you're-
it and be specific?
You can try to do a sleight of hand type maneuver. Now,
Yeah.
I once read on a thread, someone said, if anyone tries to put this stone in an orifice, I'm out of that game.
I'm
Here,
willing to
here
do
I-
what it takes. I'm not gonna. We came so far already. I'm not.
Eat it.
But I mean, no. But we're gonna get swapped out. Like, but they're gonna check our person immediately. So, is there anything we can do to like buy some time?
You can roll a Constitution check to see if you can swallow this stone right now.
I'd rather
You
do that
you
if I
like
can.
find a moment where one of these guards isn't going to see you reach into your bag. You got to do it real carefully, like now because they're standing all around you.
Yeah, and you don't want to go into that bathroom.
Ooh, 21. All right, it's better than going up the other end.
You swallow. It's large, Rhea. You're like you gulp first, and you're like, oh. But your stout dwarf makeup allows you to gulp this thing down.
I mean, is that gonna like kill you? Like, how big is this thing?
Just because I'm little doesn't mean I can't do it.
Yeah.
You got big intestines.
Good
You got
point,
wide
Ray.
intestines.
Just puke
Just 'cause I'm little.
just puke it out
I
once we
mean,
get in the
It's
cell.
a PSA. We squeezed in a PSA tonight.
You just,
I am a
Oh.
dwarf. I drank a lot, so my intestines are like fucked anyway.
Okay. You've already got some stones in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Ray has already got a couple of stems.
yeah, I saw Bick swallow whole hard-boiled eggs when we were kids. So.
Oh my god, I can't.
All right.
Well, thanks for taking one for the team.
I would have just done the other thing, but that's okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I mean,
The other
I mean, I was
Same.
going to originally, so
Wait, what's the other thing?
You can just take it right out. You don't have to. Anyway.
True that.
I'd like to say thanks to all of you for saving my ass while I was shitting my brains out. So.
yeah. Thanks for saving my ass too, quite literally.
yeah. I don't know if your ass was actually saved,
No, it's on
though.
fire.
Okay.
So we need. So they're gonna send somebody. How are we gonna get our shit though? Mert better have a plan for us. I guess they're gonna come and get us. Maybe they have. He probably charmed or owns some of these guardsmen, so we can collect our shit on the way out, and then
Yeah, I would like to be able to have my stuff, but
I'll rest. Continue to rest. I'm wounded, so I want to.
All right, move your characters
Yeah.
into that room.
into the cells. These are the cells
No,
over here. Right?
into the holding tank.
Oh, is
for
this
now.
the drunk tank or whatever it is?
Oh, right, you did move yourself over there. I was looking.
Is it this room right here?
No, this over here.
Oh, the holding area. Oh, okay. Yeah. Even better. All right. I'm gonna get comfortable.
And they do tell you, they indicate that you'll be moved several times before you make your way to Ammon's farm. But for now, they're taking your belongings, and you'll probably spend the night in this room together.
Let's get some rest.
Once they do, Bix, they explain. They're like, Bix, you don't have to stay with them. Why don't we go get some mead together, Bix? A couple of the guards invite you out.
I decline so I can be with my friends, so that way I can
All right.
come up with a plan to help them get their stuff.
Very nice, very nice. All right. So you guys spend, depending on what you plan to do immediately, you spend a good amount of time down here. Hours.
Good.
Unless you plan to do anything right now.
Enough to heal.
Yeah. Let me go grab a beer while you add your hit points back in.
Awesome.
Be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would take a little. I would take a little nap.
Might as well. It's not the first time I have had to sleep in this very room, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys really pulled through. Probably not the best decision in my young life to take the bite of the apple, but I hope they fucking go after that lawyer.
Yeah. Seriously. He should have his license revoked.
He should be going to the work farm too for poisoning the judge. He might though, if they're investigating it. So
That's what I was hoping. I was hoping it was going to be a situation where they come back and they're like, "Hey, this apple."
Hmm.
Yeah, he better hope we don't run into him in the street, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to resist kicking his ass.
Yep.
And those clowns.
Yeah, we're definitely going to
Yeah.
have to kick their ass. Honk, honk.
Yeah. They could have been saying anything,
I was
and the
going to say
lawyer
we
was
didn't
like,
have a translator.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hey, all's well that ends well. Now we're going to get out of here. Mert's going to get us out. We'll be well rested. As long as we can get our shit on the way out the door.
Is this a long
Yeah.
rest?
Yes.
Okay.
You need
Cool.
You need 6 hours, 8 hours total, but 6 sleeping, and you can break it up with 2 hours of studying, praying. So it's it has to be 8 hours, but in the 8 hours we're going to probably be here the better part of the day in here, in the other holding cells, or, wherever they'll probably tote us around inside the courthouse throughout the day, so.
Hmm.
So we should have plenty of time to catnap and clean our wounds and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. I'm actually gonna be right back, guys.
How are you feeling, Rhea? Does your stomach hurt?
Oh, Rhea made a 21.
No, I'm okay.
check.
Yeah, I got a good roll. I nailed it.
Yeah. I'm glad you're feeling better, because I'm not.
Donovan, make a Constitution check.
I get a plus.
Oh. Snap. Play that sound effect, Steve.
Donovan's shitting in a bucket the entire time that we're.
So in the middle of the night, Mert appears. And let's see, where's Mert? And you hear a rattling at the door. You see his face in the small window in the door, and he proceeds to come in. And he thanks whoever it is that just let him in. You don't see who it is. And he proceeds to explain to you, well, I have brought that family who is willing to assume your form. That way you will be free to pursue these leads we're talking about. And he motions to the door again, opens the door, and what comes out?
So I'm guessing we should keep a low profile for the next 10 days.
A young lady, a similarly aged man, and 2 young children step into the room with you. What was your question, Donovan? I'm sorry.
I'm assuming we should keep a low profile as best we can for the next 10 days then.
Oh, you cannot be seen in the city, no. That would be disastrous. You will be, for all intents and purposes, serving out your sentence. It is of the utmost importance that you are not recognized, seen outside of Avon's farm for the next 10 days.
You'll check on Troll Skull?
He asks you what you need him to do or what you need him to ask Broxley. He says Broxley can do it, right? Just tell me what you need done.
Yeah, just let him know that we're going to be away for the 10-day and to keep balancing the books and continue with all the duties that he's been seeing to. I'll be in touch with him.
He says I'll let him know.
All right. Well, I don't see how this young couple and their 2 children are going to help us, but
well, let me show you. And This young family stands in front of the group of you and proceeds to just eye you up and down. Rhea, a young human man, stands in front of you, eyeing you. Joanna, a young human woman, commoner, common clothes, looks like a regular, ordinary person, eyeing you. And let's see. Where is it? Where is it? You see these 4 individuals
Ooh.
change from the forms that you see into a humanoid creature. All their skin is like this pale gray blue. They have those orbs for eyes. Their mouth goes missing, 2 holes where a nose would be. And you see them slowly transform from this young family into these things. And Mert like gasps. "Ugh." Sorry.
Must be our stunt doubles.
He explains, yes, this is a family of doppelgangers that sought refuge in the city. We were going to kick them out of the city, actually, given their history of wrongdoing. But we're giving them a second chance. They've opted to take your form for the next 10 days, and for doing so, they will be excused of their wrongdoings as far as the city is concerned. And you see, standing in front of you, slowly these things turn into exact copies. They looked exactly like each of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And Bix, you watch this happen in front of your eyes.
I'm trying not to make it obvious that I'm slightly freaked out.
I'm like, is that really what I look like? Why didn't you guys tell me?
You look great.
A little sickly.
Wonder if it's got your tentacle. I'm gonna shake its hand. Thanks, Donovan.
Donovan reaches out, an exact copy of you reaches out and says, "You're welcome.
That's amazing.
Thank you for the opportunity."
Did they get Aldis's
Appendage.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but not the ability to use it, like to turn it big and small.
Oh,
Hello.
but they
We're talking about his tail, right?
Turn it big and small. Like, you really are like not shying away.
Yeah. There it is.
That was you. I wasn't doing that.
Oh my god, I can't.
It's up to you what he does with his thing.
Appendage.
Anyway,
All right. Well, then I guess
yes,
we're out of
they're
here.
exact replicas of the 4 of you. And
Awesome.
Mert says you need to spend a few hours with these individuals examining you. So in the middle of the night, you guys are going to make an escape. On this same floor, Mert explains that there's a carriage that can lead right out the back of this place. So in the middle of the night, you'll make your escape after spending several hours with these doppelgangers.
We're gonna need to go.
Okay.
We're gonna need to go back upstairs. We need our belongings. Our weapons. Azure Edge.
Well, maybe that's what Bix was hinting at to help us get our stuff. Since Bix seems to be in the clear and, you know,
Mhm.
can probably grab it no problem. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe we can like meet you like at the carriage outside.
I mean, the only thing is, I don't think I could grab Azurage.
I was gonna say,
It's gonna be
Mert.
sitting there.
Mert says
Can you
to
grab the table?
True.
Yeah.
it's not on the table; it's on the ground.
Grab the grant? No, I'm kidding.
Just cut a hole.
Can you grab the ground?
Mert stops you, Bix, and says, "Are you sure you want to do that? That's a little risky. You're gonna sneak up there and take their belongings out of custody? You sure you want to take that risk, Bix?"
True.
True.
You can do it.
I'm just saying. There's no reason to, or maybe there is. What is most important amongst your belongings that would be worth risking Bix's reputation over?
Well, I certainly don't think
My spell
we're
books.
not going to want to go into investigate Kolat without those things.
I need my spell book.
Yeah.
How was that smell book?
Bix, you can do it. You're a captain. Tell them you're taking the stuff to be inventoried, to storage. Or the only issue we're going to have is just collecting Azurage on our way out the door. But perhaps, you might be able to distract them long enough for Joanna to get her hand on it.
Joanna, as if Azurage is reading your thoughts, Azurage explains to you, not in so many words, it's all psychic feelings and stuff like that, that while you are sentenced, Azurage must obey the law and will remain planted where he is for the 10-day.
That's fine.
Bix, are you going to risk a little stealthy maneuver up to the clerk's office to re-equip Blackwell's union? And Mert explains it's too risky to be at Kolat Towers. Not now. What I recommend is you follow up on this new harbor lead concerning entrance into the Xanathar there. And in addition to that, I caution you. Do not seek the artifact when approaching the Xanathar lair. What you must do is steal something else that you can barter for it. And I know of such a thing that will tug at his heartstrings. You see, the Xanathar has a very important pet. It is a fish. It's very important to him. So important that his underlings will replace this fish if it dies in order to ensure the sanity of the Xanathar. For if the Xanathar is without his pet fish, it goes mad. What I am saying is they replace this fish from time to time in order to ensure its longevity. Steal the fish, barter for the artifact. This is the wisest approach. What do you think, Blackwell?
Wow. I mean, seems kind of strange, but also seems relatively easy.
It will not be easy. There is also other information I have to impart. Many Harpers have lost their lives seeking this information. Many eyes watch the Xanathar lair, and a constant eye is a group of wizards that must be thwarted upon entering the lair. First, disturb the wizards to stop their scrying, because you will not go unwatched without disturbing their perpetual spell. then seek the fish. He says, I must take my leave.
Okay.
This door will be left open. You will find a carriage not 30 paces from here, down that hall. And he points out the door, directly out the door.
I don't know. I mean, I can't help but think we're going to need our equipment if we're going to do any of this. I'm going to ask the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have our armor either. Like, we don't have anything.
Right.
Yeah, we're pretty much just been stripped to our clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stone
Without.
for me.
Yeah, and without like my spell book, I can't do a lot of my spells. So.
Don't worry, guys. I got these fists.
You can pass
I'm
through.
gonna flex a little bit.
Do you guys just want to do hard labor?
Does
at the farm?
Joanna name her fists like vengeance and fury? I got these
I have,
vengeance and fury.
Cherry and cherry.
Wow.
They're both bombs.
That's great. Oh gosh, this is hard.
Didn't mean to speak for you, Joanna. It was a collaboration. We were both channeling Joanna.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so Mert says to Bix, well, they won't do it without their equipment, Bix. Looks like it's up to you and me to go get it.
All right, he's going with you. There you go, Bix.
Okay. What if we tricked the other guards by saying the judge said that they could get their stuff back? The nice judge from earlier, the one that got diarrhea.
I don't know. Maybe moving it. Maybe you're moving it to like a safer location because of the value of the items or something. Because they ain't gonna give us shit back until we're done our 10 days. But if you can convince them that we're moving it to someplace more secure.
Good idea. Good idea, Donovan. Oh. That's a great idea. That's what we'll do.
Joanna, what do you fight with besides Azraj? What were you using when we? Did she use a sword or?
I had a crossbow and a great sword. Yeah.
Okay. We can get one of those. If Azraj isn't gonna agree. Which, being a lawful
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, if we get our equipment back, then I have an extra long sword, so...
Yeah.
I can. That's two-handed.
We can get a, we can get a
One or
sword.
two.
We could get a
Or yeah, we have money.
Yeah, I can afford that. That should be easy enough.
All right.
Let's do
Bix,
that.
roll a dexterity check, roll a wisdom check, and roll a charisma check, Bix. This is going to represent you.
I want to give.
If you want to describe it, you're going to walk upstairs kind of nonchalantly, I'll assume, and
I'm giving Bix my inspiration.
okay, good, nice.
So it was charisma, dexterity, and wisdom.
Come on, you can do this, Bix. Just talk shit, just like you used to when we were kids. Talk shit. You'll get through it. That's my inspirational.
I appreciate that.
Oh, Bix, what's going on? What gives, my man? I thought you were going out for some mead with the boys.
No, I just wanted to make sure that the prisoners are doing okay. Just doing my job.
All right, well, he claps you on the shoulder in his city watch style and moves along.
I forget, you used my inspiration.
Oh. Is the inspiration for like all of them, or can
No,
I-
you would have to use yours and mine to use it for any.
Just because wisdom's the lowest, we're gonna, I guess, re-roll that one. And probably not get good again.
No way. it's
Well,
okay.
sorry tonight's episode wasn't action packed. I
No,
did have thoughts of fitting out combat, but
we beat that murder charge. The guys did a nice job. I got the shits. It was epic.
Yeah.
yeah, sorry for that too. Gee.
That was my day.
It seemed like fun at the time. Looking back now, I'm not so sure. All right, let's see what Bix's rolls are.
Got a high dex, that's good. Everything else kind of sucks.
You're busted. You're going to jail with us.
Yeah.
Well, Mert's with you. Maybe Mert's got something to help you out.
True, maybe. Hopefully.
Well, Bix spends half the time explaining why Mert is with him, but his charisma gets him by on that. The wisdom limits the acquisition of items. So, like,
So I forget someone's stuff.
all of you pick the most important thing that Bix remembered to grab. Basically, you get one of your items back. And Mert waits outside the clerk's office here while Bix is in there grabbing the stuff, and he can't seem to locate anything but your one most prized possession.
Okay. And we're still like wearing the clothes that we came in with, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That must happen at a different stage.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll leave it there. You guys decide what one item Bix comes back with, and that's what you'll be equipped with.
Fair enough.
All right.
My armor.
My spell book.
Good choice. On my rapier.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do with the sword.
Does Joanna, do you have any magic besides Azure Edge?
No. I just have my battle master maneuvers.
Which are awesome. So you can do those with any of your weapons, with a great sword too. So
Right. Yeah.
that's cool. All right.
All right.
Cool.
Great fun had.
Thanks for
We did it. We dodged it.
Yay.
beat that shit. Oh, so wait, if you're going to be in San Diego next week, is it next week?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to play live, like the three is, like
Yeah.
hanging out? Oh, awesome, great, cool.
Oh wait.
I don't think we can.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
cool. Had fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks for showing up yet again.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, of course.
See you
Thanks,
later.
Ian.
Have fun
Thanks.
in San Diego.
Yeah,
See you soon.
safe trip.
Yeah.
Everyone be
Well,
safe. Party hard.
Okay.
Woo.
Sounds good.
Good night.
Later.
All right. Bye, guys.